everyone. We're gonna get in and do a quick, maybe I'll get long-winded. I don't know. We're gonna go over our 5th grade first quarter, see what's new, see what's different, and check in. Hello, Melody here with Homeschool Happy Hour. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, before we go any further, make sure and you give this, before you go any farther, here's your warning that I mess my words up a lot. Forgive me, it happens. I'm busy. My brain sometimes moves faster or slower than my mouth. This is what we do. Anyway, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Don't give me a thumbs down, that would make me sad. Subscribe to the channel so that you can follow along with all of our homeschool happy hour awesomeness. We're about 2 months into the school year at this point, and as with all plans, things change, they adjust, they shift. And so I wanted to give you an update on what we're keeping, what we're shifting, what we're just getting rid of, and let you know how the school year's been going so far. So stick around and let's check that out. All right, so my dogs are being noisy, so I decided I would give them treats to make them quiet, and now they're crunching. And they're even noisier. So, as with many plans, that one backfired. That's okay though, we're just gonna keep on trucking. All right, so, if you've been following along on my channel, I have mentioned again and again, I'm a type A personality. I like to have things structured, I like charts, I like graphs, I like a plan, I like a schedule, I like all of those things. And so for the first 7 years of our homeschool, things were very structured. It was very much like the public school at home, a lot more so than I would like to admit. And my now 11-year-old started saying, I don't like it. I don't like homeschool. And then my now 9-year-old was like, I don't like school at all either. And it really made me kind of start questioning, what am I doing? Why are my children not liking this? And what could I do differently? And so after much research and reading books and just looking out there to see all these different ideas, I decided to do a reset for this year. And so this year is very different from years past, which also means that even though we're in our 8th year, we're doing a lot of learning as far as how to homeschool because we're doing things completely differently. I have my handy dandy little homeschool binder, my planner, and I set some goals on what we wanted to do differently. We have, instead of a rigid schedule, we just have a routine that we follow. This has worked really well for us so far this year. We're absolutely keeping it. There are a few minor changes because we've noticed things like I had geography and science on the same day, and we noticed that both of those topics took a really long time and then we weren't able to fit them both in. So we split them up on different days. Our school week is a 3-day school week with a 4th day every other week where we put in some extra things like games, science experiments, field trips, and we cover health and that kind of stuff. One thing I did change, let's see, here we have our homeschool block schedule, what we do. One thing I did change was our weekly planner. This is different from what I originally was planning to use. The one that I had was one that I had gotten from another homeschool mom, and it was a great planner, but it just turned out that it didn't work for us as efficiently as I wanted it to. So I finally just got on the computer and decided to put together a planner that was geared specifically towards us because we do that 4-day, 3-day week. And instead of having a schedule or having it blocked out by subject, we just have our morning block and a place to write what we worked on, and our afternoon block and a place to write what we worked on. Sports, extracurriculars, fitness, all that kind of stuff. And then I decided, because I do a quote of the week, and I thought I'll just put it in here so I can keep track of what those quotes are rather than forgetting them. And then when we look back at my planner throughout the year, I can see what quotes we have covered. You can see the front page of this is a 4-day week because we have 4 days. And then the back page, it's almost exactly the same, except this one is the 3-day week. And then there's an opportunity for the kids to write in here, big ideas, what they loved learning the most. Each of the children has their own weekly planner tracking form inside their binder. And this new form is working much better for us than the old form. So that is our first change. And you can see here, this is the last 2 weeks. So I've got 2 weeks front and back, so it saves a lot of space. And you can see how we filled it in there with what we worked on and notes at the bottom for me. So that was our first adjustment or change that we made this year for our 5th grade planning. That applies to our 7th grade planning too. But as you can see, my 5th grader has the same things in her binder. She's got our routine, she's got our block schedule for the day, and then she has the weekly planner. And terrible handwriting on this because she's not really invested in doing a nice job filling that out. We're working on it. It's okay. So what else has stayed the same? Let's go through subject by subject. 2 things that I added in this year at the beginning of the year, and I wasn't sure how they would work, are number 1, poetry tea time. This is something we're going to stick with, at least for now. First of all, because I really like this teapot, because it's really cute. I mean, why wouldn't you want to use this adorable teapot? And the beautiful set that comes with it. At first, the kids were not really into it, but as we've gone along, they have embraced sharing some of their favorite quotes or poems and just having an opportunity where they can have snacks and tea or whatever beverage of their choice while I read some books out loud to them. Because even though they are 9 and 11, I still enjoy reading out loud to them, and I think they enjoy it too. So poetry tea time is a go. We're sticking with it. The next item that was totally new to us this year that we will be keeping is mystery activity. This one is a huge hit. My kids are complaining because I'm only doing it once a month. They want to do it more often. And so we might incorporate a little bit more of this as the year goes on. I have a hard time adding in more things. Well, that's not true. I'm really bad about adding in too many things. And so I'm trying to resist adding things in and then overwhelming us with stuff. Even the fun stuff. If we do mystery activities every single week, then that can become overwhelming for me as I try and come up with these activities and make sure they're set up for the kids and still feel like we're covering the other materials that is important for us to cover as well. So for right now, mystery activities are only once a month, but usually it's an activity that stays out on our exploration table all week long. Those 2 things were brand new and we're definitely sticking with it. Other things that we planned that we are sticking with are It's So Amazing for health. Of course, this only covers reproductive health, puberty, and all that kind of fun stuff. And so this is not the only thing we'll be using for health, because health is about a lot more than reproduction. We're going to be talking about healthy foods and fitness and all that kind of stuff. But this is our main resource that we're focusing on at this moment as we slowly work our way through puberty, reproductive health, and all those fun topics. Our next curriculum that we are sticking with will be Write Shop Junior. I'm not ready to do a full review on this yet, but just to give you an update on how it's going. I was a little worried about the planning and how much planning was involved in each lesson, but it's not too bad. Sometimes I forget to get in there and do the advanced planning, and then I'm scrambling last second to do it, but that's totally my bad, and it's usually not a big deal. So my daughter is having a lot of fun with this program. Part of me wants to say that she's not learning enough, that it's too easy, but then I remind myself that was kind of the point this year. She has been a reluctant writer. She does not enjoy writing, and so my goal was not to make sure we hammer down all the facts and grammar and all that kind of stuff, but to just try and spend some time to help her learn to love writing. And if that means we slow down on the other things, I'm okay with that. I just have to remind myself of that sometimes. But so far, so good. We're definitely sticking with this one. It's gone really well. The next one we're sticking with without change is History of Us. I've talked to you guys about this one a lot. Unfortunately, we're not moving through it as quickly because I've got this whole less is more mindset, and if we do as much as I want in every single subject area or every single curriculum, then we end up back where we started, where we're overwhelmed with so much work and it gets way too intense for all of us. But we're doing 1 to 2 chapters a week, and we're taking the time to delve into those chapters and explore a little bit more. We're definitely sticking with this one because we love it. I love it. I think they love it. They're not complaining, so we'll call it a win. Something that we started this year that is new is thinking tree. We are putting a lot more emphasis on personal interest activities. And for Bean, that means baking. She loves to bake. And so I got this book for her, and we have not used the book itself as much as I thought we would. But she is using it, she does enjoy it, and so we're going to stick with it, keep working on it. Something that she does enjoy, but that we have made an adjustment to, is Beast Academy. Beast Academy for the win. She is loving this math curriculum. She was cruising through it. The guide with all the colorful comics is awesome. I can't tell you how many times I have found her in her free time just sitting and reading this book for the fun of it, which I'm thrilled about. Now, I did end up getting the online portion added to this, and I don't like to use a lot of online curriculum because I like to have it be more interactive with me and the kids than for them to just interact with a screen. However, as independent learners, using the online has accomplished a couple things. Number one, she's really loving it and loving math, and she's constantly asking me, can I get on the computer and do more math? I mean, who wants to say no to that, right? And so that's a win. Unfortunately, that means she's not doing the practice pages in here as much, but as of right now, that's okay. The online portion of Beast Academy, it's showing me what she's doing, what type of problems she's working on, whether or not she's struggling with them or needs more help. And so I get an email each week telling me where she's at, what she's doing. That frees me up so I don't have to go through and grade her work, or well, not grade, but make corrections and go back with her to fix things. But we still have this here if she comes across something online where it's like, well, you need to work on this more, then we can use this as a backup. So I never thought that I would be into the math online so much, but right now it's working for her. She's enjoying it. It's freeing up my time, and she's learning a lot of math skills. And so we're just gonna go with it. That's where we're at on Beast Academy. Our next subject that we've been doing is geography. Now, we have not made the amount of progress in geography as I thought we would make, but we have learned a lot more about geography than I thought we would. I hope that makes sense to you. We've been watching Crash Course Geography, and we've learned a lot of things through there. I have this resource, which was given to me, I think, when the bookworm was in kindergarten, and she's now in 7th grade, and it's been sitting on my shelf. I've almost gotten rid of it multiple times, but then every time I look in it, I'm like, oh, but there's so much great material in here. I'll use it someday. And my friends, that day has finally come. We're gonna keep up with this, but I have changed my expectations as far as what our lessons are going to look like and how quickly we're gonna move through the material. So we're taking our time and exploring things in a lot more depth than what I had planned on. So I think that it works. We're good with it. All right, I have one more curriculum here, and this is the one that I'm thinking I'm gonna make the biggest adjustment to. The Story of Science. I love this book. And so alongside the Story of Science book here, I actually purchased the Student Quest Guide and the Teacher Guide. Now, part of the Teacher Guide, it tells you how to make a timeline. We're going to continue with that timeline. We really like it. But I have discovered as we've been going, this isn't so much the problem as this. This is very much geared towards a classroom setting. I had it set up for us to do science from this once a week, and then our science experiments every other Friday when we have those 4-day weeks, because we don't need to do science every single day. And if I get back on track with, or if I want to be on track with these lessons, we're gonna have to do science every single day to finish one lesson a week. So what I'm gonna do with that is let a lot of it go. We're going to continue to read this. I want to continue to read it with my kids. One solution could be I just give it to them and tell them, hey, you have to read this and be prepared for our lesson. But that's the opposite of what we're trying to do. We don't do homework, we do homeschool. So when we have our homeschool time that we're working on things, that's when we work on things. I try not to give the kids assignments outside of that time unless they have to work on reading their nonfiction book. They read one nonfiction book a month, or other fun activities that they have as an option. But I don't want to start telling them, you have to read all this material by yourself. One, because I like to read it with them. And two, because then I don't know how much they're really absorbing, and we're missing out on some of the things where we could stop and explore it further. So we'll do the timeline, we'll read the book, but we're gonna let go of a lot of the Teacher Quest Guide suggestions, and the Student Quest Guide, we'll see. It's gonna be touch and go. We'll see what works for us, what doesn't. So I think that's it. We've got health, science, math, language arts. We're still doing handwriting, free writing. We do that every other week. I'm sure there's something I'm missing. Oh, art. So I don't really do a specific art curriculum at all. We have art supplies available. When we come across something in any of the curriculums that could be associated with art, we build on that as it interests us, and we kind of just go with the flow on that one. They're also doing, they were doing Rosetta Stone for their foreign language, and we still have Rosetta Stone, but I came across this other curriculum, well, it's not a curriculum, this other resource called Lingo Pi, which is them watching videos in the language of their choice. For Bean, that means Spanish, and she's really loving that. I like the structure of Rosetta Stone. I want them to continue to do it. They've been leaning a lot more towards Lingo Pi. Either way, they are getting exposure to their foreign language, and that makes me happy. If they're enjoying it, that makes us both happy. And so I think that's it. I think that's it for real this time. Okay, make sure you give this video a thumbs up so that I know that you liked it. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment in the box below if you have any questions about these curriculums. For those that I have not done a full review on, I will be doing a full review on them as the year comes to an end, after we've gone through and used them thoroughly. But for the time being, I just wanted to give you an update on where we're at, what's changed, what we've adjusted, and what's working really well, because I'm getting a lot of questions about that. And that's all I've got for you today. So check us out on Instagram at Homeschool Happy Hour, and I will catch you next time.